¿Cómo fue tu niñez?
Childhood, it was different. It was a bit mixed. I was born in Soweto, which was the heart of the struggle, the heart of the ANC, where it all came together. And then from there, I moved to the Eastern Cape, where we are from. In the Eastern Cape, I lived with my parents and my grandmother. And my grandmother, she owned a shop. And in the shop, it was very cool because I was able to live free. I was a spoiled boy, My parents took very good care of me. But then I had to move to Durban. I don't know what happened. Clearly there was some political pressure at the time. So me and my father moved away and we left my mother. I think politically for some reason, I can't remember. But then I stayed with the Sisulus. Now Walter Sisulu is one of my grandfather's best friends, closest comrades of all time. And unfortunately, he passed away. So his family took care of me with my father for about a few years. And then after that, we moved to Soweto. And in Soweto, I stayed with my grandmother, Winnie Mandela, for a short bit without my parents. My parents sent me there. Again, of course, I think it was political reasons, but I never really wanted to. I wanted to be with my parents. So when I was staying with my parents, we're actually quite poor. I remember eating rice and tomato sauce for dinner, and until my grandfather came to fetch me in 1993, and then I went to live with him since. But the first time I met my grandfather was just before he got released. And they told us that he was in jail. And I was 7 years old at the time, in 1990. And, obviously my view of jail was bars, concrete, hard, cold, guards. But when we got there, it was a house because they were already preparing him to come out of jail. So when we got there, it was a nice house, nice lounge. There were people cooking, with the professional cooking outfit. He had a swimming pool, TV, VCR. We watched movies. And I was like, wow, when I grow up, I want to go to jail, Because I was poor at the time, and here I'm going to visit someone in jail, and he has everything that I want. So I said, wow, I need to go to jail when I grow up. That's what I want to do. So that was the first time I met my grandfather. And then when he came to fetch me in 1993, I lived with him, but he was hardly there because he was always traveling, working, raising money for the ANC, doing his political work. But he was very strict, very strict. And I remember I lost my jersey twice, and I was quite scared to go and tell him. So eventually I did, and he was very angry. So he told me I have to go sleep outside in the cold. And he told the lady to send me a blanket. So she sent me a blanket, and I slept outside for like 2 hours. And then after 2 hours, he came and he called me inside. He said, if you lose your jersey again, you will sleep outside. And then I came inside. But the good thing is that I never lost my jersey again.
¿Alguna vez visitaste la cárcel de tu abuelo y cuáles fueron tus sentimientos? Si la visitaste, ¿cuáles fueron tus sentimientos al entrar?
I have visited it. Actually, the first time I visited was when I was on a soccer tour with my school. And it was very cold, very hard. To see how they were treating, our people, my grandfather, family members, So for me, it's one of those things that reminds me of my past, a past that was not happy, a past that was hard. So, I went again recently to do an interview for BBC. And again, same feeling, very cold, very hard. And, you see the pictures of how the black people were treated. And it really reignites again for me the the passion that I have to want to continue working to empower my people. It reinforces those feelings, you know, to want to continue working because it's a new struggle now that we have to work on. So it makes me work even harder, but I don't want to go there again.
El hecho de tener el ser un Mandela es un privilegio, pero además te debe generar, si bien te debe abrir las puertas en el mundo, te debe generar bastante presiones, ¿no?
Yes, it does open a lot of doors. You know, when people hear that you're Mandela, they want to listen to what you have to say. So that is the work that my grandfather has done, you know. And yes, it comes with some added pressure, you know, to want to follow in his footsteps. But also, you know, those are very big footsteps. So you have to create your own footsteps, you know. That's what our grandfather told us, that you must get an education so you can create your own future, your own path. And he has always told us that you can study anything. You're not pressurized to study what I did, as long as you have an education and you work and you do something with your life. So that made it much easier for me to be able to do business and other things, you know, that I love, like music.
¿Cómo viviste el traspaso de ver que se abolió el apartheid y que luego de eso tu abuelo llegó a ser el presidente?
Yes, this made us very proud, very happy, you know, because the dream had become reality. You know, the biggest goal, the biggest obstacle had been overcome. So, you know, for us it was complete joy, celebration, and relief for our people and for the future generation and future generations to come, that a new world has been created in which people from different walks of life, young, old, rich, poor, now have opportunities that they never had before. So it was a momentous occasion. And, you know, the people in my country, the youth today, do not have much value for the struggle that our people fought. So, you know, I stress again about education, that, you know, we have to teach our children and keep reminding ourselves of where we come from, because if you forget where you come from, you do not know where you are going.
¿Cuál es tu posición y tu lucha con el SIDA, teniendo a tus dos padres fallecidos por la enfermedad?
Yes, AIDS is a very serious issue in my country. And to correct you, actually, both my parents died from HIV/AIDS. And my mother died in 2003. And my father died in 2005, and that is because they had contracted the HIV virus. And for us, it's very important to keep talking to the children and to the youth about sex education, you know, the importance of, first of all, abstaining, but, you know, we know that realistically, you know, abstaining, once you reach a certain age, it's not going to help. So obviously, then we talk about contraceptives, we talk about condoms, which is very important. And what I'm happy to know is that we are now finally being able to reverse the scourge of AIDS. You know, the numbers are declining slowly. You know, last year when I went for my HIV test, the nurse told me that they got some very good news, because in the university, all the students who are attending university, the HIV percentage was 3%. So, you know, you're talking about from 30% down to 3%. So, you know, we're very happy about that. But this does not mean that we have to stop. We have to continue teaching about, you know, HIV sex education to the kids, because it's all about behavior. It's all about respecting, you know, a woman, respecting yourself. Yeah.
¿Cuál es tu lucha como joven para seguir lo que querés, que son los pasos de tu abuela, de tu abuelo, aparte de tu fundación y de Africa Rising?
Well, no, I mean, I'm not trying to follow in his footsteps. I'm trying to do what I can as an individual to follow my heart as well. So my heart tells me that our country is faced with economic challenges, whereby the majority of the black people are still poor. So my heart tells me that you have to help because you're in a position, you know, you've been given education, you've been given everything that you want by your grandfather. So he taught me that you have to do for those people who can't do for themselves. And nobody told me that. It's a part of the feeling that I have as an individual. It's my value as well. You know, my dream is to see Africans, you know, traveling the world. I want to see Africans, you know, living a good life. You know, I don't want to always, you know, when I go outside my house, I see black people just sitting on the road, not doing anything, just begging for money all the time. I want to see, because in the community that I live, it's mainly white people. So I want in the next 20 years that community to be mainly black people because we are the majority.
¿Cuánto tiempo pasás con tu abuelo y qué esencia y qué espíritu sentís que heredaste de él?
You know, he has transferred, you know, his value of compassion for the people. So, you know, being able to speak to anyone, black, white, rich, poor, you know, guys, girls, that's one of the values. And another value is just, you know, the love that you have for your people and wanting to see your people in a better place. So for me, those are the things that I value, you know. Those are the things I'm working towards to become the best leader I can be, but also, more importantly, to empower other people to become better leaders of tomorrow. Because it's not just me as a Mandela who is meant to lead the people, but other people can also play the role of positive leadership.